Okay, so we are in the English Lake District, in the beautiful area, and there is Ullswater. The sun is shining, and we've ridden over from the east coast of Scarborough, following the Adventure Bike Rider magazine route this month, which is the coast to coast. Not going to go all the way to St Bees, but I thought what we'll do is we'll have a go at doing the Old Coach Road. So I've just downloading the route onto View Ranger. The Himalayan's going really well. Had a super ride over. Let's have a look and see if the route's downloaded. I think it might have done. Start route, start from here. And we are off-roading. Right, so if I zoom in, that's where we are there. So we're going to ride up to Dockeray, and then we're going to turn off here, and then somehow there must be a route there. There must be a road over to there. Well, we'll go and find out, eh? Okay, let's go and do it. Yeah, I'd just like to apologise as well for the mic wind noise. Does get a bit aggravating after a while, but sometimes I put music to the videos, but I find that these days I'm getting hammered with copyright claims. So yes, I'll turn the volume up and down on the video. So, but the main purpose of this video is just a few people on the Enfield groups. Well, the Adventure Riders pages have been asking, you know, what's the Old Coach Road like. So I thought, well, I'll do a video while I'm up there. And overall, it's relatively straightforward, really. There's a few big boulders. So the boulder, you know, I've had one or two hits to underneath the sump yard, and it is quite a lot of share, a lot of loose gravel in places. So, you know, you've got potential to, you know, probably slide out if you go a bit too quick. But overall, it's relatively straightforward. A little bit at the end of the video, which you'll see from the west side, it's quite a steep descent coming this way, but coming the other way, obviously, it will be a steep climb, and part of the road has been washed out. And I think it would be fine on the Himalayan. Like I said, just picking the lines carefully, and you know, and just plod up carefully, like. Yeah, so I've come over from the east coast, done about 150 miles. Good run over. All tarmac. No trails on the east side, purely because of the daylight. So altogether, this trip will be about 350 miles today. Obviously, this time of year, there's not a great deal of daylight. So the main purpose really was to get over to Cumbria, the Lake District, and just have a look at this Old Coach Road. But like I said earlier on, I can't fault the bike at all. I'm still got more than half a tank. Well, just got under half a tank of fuel left. I've been riding for a good 3.5 hours. I feel comfortable on the bike, and yeah, I think when I get to the end of this road into Keswick, probably another 20 miles, and I'll be getting ready for some fuel, and obviously something to eat. Where we want to be. So let's have a little look.
Yeah, so this is old coach road. First thing we'll do is turn the ABS off. First gate. Okay, right, let's see what we're up against.
So this is the first of many gates. So when there's a couple of you can share the responsibility with the gates, but when you're on your own, it's a bit of a chore. So I just often push my bike through the gates. And if there's on an incline, so if I'm concerned about a gradient, I'll leave the bike in gear and push the clutch, use the clutch as a brake. So it doesn't seem to be too bad a road, to be fair. It's rocky, typical kind of moorland road, not particularly rutted. In places they've tipped quite a lot of loose stone for repair work. So providing you go carefully, you don't obviously you pick your lines and just maintain a nice easy speed, then you're not going to go anywhere really. It'll be absolutely fine. There are one or two big boulders which you have to navigate around, and I heard a few of those crash into the belly pan. Yeah, so one of the reasons I wanted to downsize to a Himalayan is because I used to have an enduro bike, which I found was too small on a long distance. So the enduro bikes, it was known as a DR250 to be exact. It was a great machine, very capable, obviously, of messing around on the trails, but it had a very small tank, had a very narrow seat, and obviously, if you're wanting to go of any significant distance, it was very uncomfortable, and you'd need to carry either a big fuel tank or some jerry cans. Obviously, the big 1000cc Suzuki, the V-Strom, is a fantastic bike, but obviously just a little bit top heavy and ground clearances are a concern. So I've kind of gone down to like the Himalayan. So the Himalayan is kind of a little bit of a sacrifice of one and again on another. So a few people, they say to me, "Oh, why are you, what are you doing up here on the Himalayan?" And you're a bit of an underdog, but I kind of disagree really, because it's taken me many places, and this is exactly what I wanted to do, to be able to ride across the breadth of England, and then towards the end, turn off the time I can go over a big hill, and it doesn't faze me really. The bike is very gentle and it's very reassuring. So I generally tend to ignore those kind of comments that derogatory towards the bike, but yeah, it's so far so good. So I'm riding on my own today, so I've just been a little bit extra cautious. I generally, as a rule, like to ride in pairs. My mate has pulled the bike off me before when I've fallen over and vice versa. So I'm just taking it steady, and also concerned, obviously, that I don't want to get a puncture. I don't want to buckle the rim, so I am riding at a slightly slower pace. When I get to anything quite rocky, I just ease off the gas a little bit and just basically roll over the stones. Because I have actually had a ding in the rim, which I've knocked out with a mallet and a piece of wood, and I think that was down to a soft front tyre and a big pothole. So obviously, the rims are steel. It is a little bit of weight on the bike. So yeah, I'm just riding steady, nursing it if you like, because the last thing I want is to be up here on me and having to get my tyre levers out, which I have carrying. I'm carrying me a basic toolkit and the cable replacement kit. So I carry clutch cable, throttle cable, obviously a spare tube, and obviously tyre levers, air compressor. I've also got slime in me tubes as well, so I did put some slime in the tubes, just as a kind of a backup. So if they pick any thorns, at least the slime is a bit of a tube sealant. So I was considering going tubeless, but to be fair, I think if you ding a rim, especially when you're up here or hit a pothole and you do buckle a ring slightly, then you're going to get a blowout, you're going to get an air burp, and then you're going to have to put a tube in anyway. So after a little bit of thought, tubeless is really good for obviously a road bike, easy puncture repair, but I think when you're kind of up here and that and in the unknown, it's I don't know, a 6 and 2/3, but I think we've kind of agreed that we think a tube is probably the way to go on something like this. So in the last video that I did, I was giving a quick overview of like the modifications I've done, and there was a couple of things which I didn't mention that I had done. So basically, alongside obviously the modification in the video, I've done an airbox modification. So in the airbox, the airbox has two hoses, top and bottom. The bottom hose is for the crankcase breather, which is very low. It's at the very bottom of the airbox. So should any water get into your air filter, then it will literally run through the hose straight into the crankcase and fill your crankcase up with water, which is what you don't want. The top hose is for the air injection solenoid, which basically is to do with the emission control in the exhaust. Now I fitted an air deletion kit, so that has actually been taken off. So what we've done is we've actually disconnected the crankcase breather off the bottom hose of the airbox, blanked that off, and rerouted the crankcase breather up to the top hose of the airbox. So should any water get into the airbox, there's a good 2 inches before it goes into the actual induction manifold. And the airboxes have a drain as well. So that is definitely worth thinking about if you are going exploring and you've got any river crossings, because the R.ENFIELD airbox is actually quite low. That's its. I even thought about making some kind of snorkel 3D printing sort of thing. But to be fair, I think you'd lose quite a lot of performance with that, and obviously it would look daft where you would route it. Unless you were to drill a hole physically in the top of the airbox and blank the side off and rearrange the airbox. But to be fair, I think that's probably a bit extreme, really. And then the other modification that I've done is I've removed the evap unit as well. So the evap unit has been disconnected, and I discovered a vacuum leak on my bike when I took it off, and I think that was partial problems for people's bikes that are stalling. So yeah, just a couple of things to add there which I didn't mention in my previous video. Right, so we'll roll on through the road. I'll be quiet for a bit now, and then when I get towards the end, there's just a little bit I'll talk about as we drop down into the final stage, if you like.
Right. Okay. Alrighty. There's a picture. I've just had a motocross bike. Jump on, brake on, brake on. Out. Okay.
So this is the part of the road where I've read about that the road's washed out. So coming obviously from the west side, there is a problem. Obviously, it has been washed out. When I stopped here, I didn't know where the actual road went, whether it was because there's a bit of a crossroads. So I slowed down just to look at the map, and it is straight on. And the video doesn't really show a lot, but you can see that that there is actually a bit of a step. And to be fair, it's not too bad. I think coming up the other way, as long as you pick the right line, if you stay to the left coming up, and a bit of gas, stood up, you'll be absolutely fine. You'll get up there, probably even with semi-adventure tyres on there, 50/50 tyres. There are a few boulders further down, so it is a little bit loose. So I'd imagine if you were on maybe a higher powered bike, you'd probably be maybe spinning the wheels a bit, and maybe I think it was a little bit more exciting, I think. But obviously on a small powered bike, it's just a case of keeping the revs up and using your clutch, and away you go. There's no dramas whatsoever. So yeah, this is coming towards the end of the road now, and yeah, to be fair, quite easy, quite straightforward. It'll be nice on a sunny day, and I think it'll be quite bleak in the winter when it's snowing as well. So certainly, if you're passing in the area, I think it's definitely worth a ride. Yeah, so this extender pad that I fitted to the side stand has been quite invaluable today, especially when you're on your own. So yeah, just a bigger foot on the bottom of the stand certainly gives the bike a lot more stability when we put it on the side stand. So this is the last gate of the road, and it takes us on to a little place called Wanthwaite. And from here I'm going to pick up the road to Keswick, probably drop onto the A66 for a short while, and we're going to go to the filling station Calf in Keswick, which is a nice little biker calf that does a great breakfast, and then decide which way I'm going to get back. So thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and it's given you a bit of an eye-opener to the old coach road. Definitely worth the trip out. I think I was lucky with the rain, to be fair. The rain was light. I think if it had been absolutely tanking down, I think it would have been a bit of a bleak experience up there, but because it is quite exposed, but it's a lovely route regardless. So have a go, and let me know how you get on if you do. Thanks for watching.